Welcome back, Bryant Pearson. All right, our goal today is 400 likes. Hit the button on your way in. Hit the like thing on your browser situation. Be counted as a supporter of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Tobias Grove, what's going on, guy? Harry C is in the building. Thank you, Harry. People on Facebook and people on X, hit like for us or repost. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. I don't have a spoon. Now I do. So look, guys. Yeah. What? Don't let a thing like a spoon hold me back, man. We got to do the show's got to go on. So how y'all doing this week? I hope everybody's fine, man. I hope everybody is, chilling. Had a good week. I hope everything, nobody hurt anybody this week. And nobody let themselves be hurt. It's important to defend yourself out there in these streets. Lots been happening. We've been covering a lot. If you're new to the show, we do this 5 days a week. We take off Saturdays and Tuesdays for business. Got other business things we got to do in order to keep a small media company like mine afloat. But that's what we do have. We have a small media company. And you can always contact and reach out if you want to do business with the media company. Hit me up you can contact me at tim@timblacktv.com. I'd rather you go to client care at timblacktv.com only because then if I miss the email, you got backup. What can I say, man? What can I say? We do this 5 days a week, as I stated. We cover U.S. politics, breaking news, and black culture, not necessarily in that order, but we always try to put our best foot forward. The show is brought to you by the Tim Black mug. The Tim Black mug, and that's this mug right here, guys. This is the legacy mug. It comes in only this color. There's an inscription at the bottom that says politics for the people, because that's the only politics we give a damn about. The politics for the people, not for the parties, for the people. All right. And people order mugs from me at timblackmug.com. I fulfill the order here in the Tim Black Studios, and I always include like swag. That's what they call it, swag, which is like, little pieces of merch I put in with the orders, and everyone who's ordered from me has received these things. Stuff that other sites charge for, I just give it away because, wristbands, buttons, stickers, I just put them in the thing. You ordered, you support the show, so why would I not give back? So you're ordering a mug, but you get much more back, I think, than just a mug. Which reminds me, I'm supposed to be going to this thing if you become a Patreon member on the Tim Black Wolfpack, and if you commit to 3 months, I'll send you a mug for free. So it pays for itself. Isn't that something? Yeah, that was something. I meant to do that. Mrs. Black, I meant to do it. I just been so busy. That was part of the rollout of the mug. I was supposed to go to that step and start making it a perk for the business. And people that become members, paid members, they could say, okay, I'm going to get a paid membership, but I'm going to get something free as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes I think there's this knock on the black community about the black community not spending money. We spend a lot of money on stuff. We support what we want to support. We support things that matter to us. We go out, we see concerts, we buy stuff. It's not that. You got to give people a compelling reason. You shouldn't have to guilt people into supporting what you do or to buying your concert tickets or your show appearances. You shouldn't have to, you should offer them something. So in my case, I'm going to offer these mugs as an incentive because that's what other people do. Instead of it's a weird thing I see, man. That people just sit back and go, see, we don't do this, we don't do that. Other people don't do that. You don't know because you don't pay attention. How would you know what other groups of people do? You know, people think black people invented getting hookup. You must not have been around the Egyptian brothers and sisters or the Somalian brothers and sisters. Man, they be hooking each other up. They know the hook. They be hooking up. It's in their culture, man. But it's just part of this negative. We got these young people that don't know these things. All they know about white people is what they see on TV. And all they know about black people is what they hear in rap songs and in their own circle. And anything outside of that, they don't know. And they just repeat the worst possible depictions of black people. They repeat it like it's factual. And then we got people that have podcasts and people that make money off continuing BS, and then people call it culture. When there are people all across the country living life who look just like you, who don't live like that. You know, so anyway, I just want to point out that if you're offering something to the black community, you want to say the black community doesn't, like Dr. Umar, for instance. I hear him all the time chastising black people because they won't give to a school. Maybe it's you, dude. Yeah, maybe it's you. You know, dude, you've been talking the same smack for damn near 10 years. I want money. I'm going to do stuff for black people. Give me money. You know, maybe they don't trust you. And why should they? You know, you're full of it. You know, been saying this same song. You know, so it's like these narratives. We got to start holding people accountable, man. So I don't know, man. It's BS. It's what it is. If people don't trust you, they're not going to support it. If you don't give people a compelling offer, they're not going to support it. And you shouldn't have to twist arms and just give a better offer. You know? Offer people stuff. It's called incentives. People get them all the time. In the business world, there's incentives for people to do things. They offer stock. They offer names on wings and names on classrooms. They do all types of stuff. You know? My 10 Black Wolfpack, hell, I even offer incentives for them. I say, hey, the 10 Black Wolfpack, here go my people, man. You know, shout out my people, Jane Harty, you know, Michael Dodson, Bill Brummer. It's been a while since I've updated it, to be honest. I hope those people are still with us. I see one person who's not. Yeah, he didn't like when I talked about the Democrats. Got to him after a while. You know, a lot of people that say they're independent aren't really independent. They really lean Democrat very strongly. To the point, if you say something about Bernie Sanders or AOC, they lose their minds, which means they really are not out of the matrix yet because they think these people, like I used to think back in the day, that these people are different. Yeah, they're different. Everybody's different, but that doesn't mean that they're on the level. So there it is. Yeah, man. You go around a little bit, you'll find out the country's full of good people and bad people. And there's bad culture and good culture all over the country and all different types of people. Yeah. It was Asians shaking down. It's Chinese shaking down Chinese coming to the country, making them have to pay protection money. There's all types of stuff going on in this country you don't know about. You just think, if we just stop doing this because we just so bad. It's a lot of stuff going on, man. I don't want to go there fully. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, it doesn't help when you spread negative content about yourself and then you don't even fact check or proof yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you do it. I don't know why you do it. I know why the media people do it. It's a benefit for them. Yeah, it's a benefit for them. They benefit from perpetrating stereotypes. Yep. Matter of fact, we're going to cover that tonight. We got a couple stories. My goodness gracious. I'm about to hurt some feelings tonight, man. I'm going to crush some feelings, man. What the hell is this? Okay, well, that's that. That's not everything we need for tonight. So, folks, look, if you're ready for the show, let me know, man. What's up? I got a request today. Today I got a request, and I appreciate this, man. Somebody requested that I cover Godfrey, comedian Godfrey, T.K. Kirkland, having a conversation about Jamal Bryant, Pastor Bryant. And I said, hey, man, I'd love to. Someone was like, yo, Tim, I really need you to address this. And I love that's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's what people don't get. People say, Tim Black, every time I go to your channel, you're dragging someone that's black. That's not the operative point. That's not really the decider. I didn't go, ooh, who's black I could go after? You got to put what they did. You got to put what they did. That wasn't the criteria for the dragging. Do my people care about this person? That's something I got to consider, because I gave Bernie Sanders a good ass kicking, and nobody wanted to watch it because they don't care about Bernie. They just don't care. I gave AOC the business. Nobody wanted to watch it because they have tuned out from AOC 2 years ago. So, you know, I'm a small media company. I can't cover stuff nobody wants to watch. You didn't even know I covered those things. You know why? It was such a poor response from my core viewers that YouTube said we're not going to promote it anymore, so it's just sitting on my channel. You don't even know it's there. You're complaining about something that's not even true. You just don't know, and you don't know it's not there because YouTube hasn't recommended it to you because other people like you didn't want to watch it. It's how YouTube works. No one cares, Tim. Move on with the show. Stop convincing, Tim. We already know. That's why we're here. Cut the cap, Tim. We don't care. You're right. I'm sorry. My bad, Johnson. My bad. I be forgetting these things. Hey, Tim, if we didn't like it, we wouldn't be watching. Why are you talking about your detractors on your own show? Don't do it, Tim Black. I'm about to get my son, if he's not too busy, I'm about to ask him to grab that off the printer for me. TJ, you mind grabbing that printer thing off the printer? That he doesn't need to right now, just at some point. Yeah, I forgot to print that out. I made some notes because I want my show to be effective. I said, hey, I don't want to be like The View and just talk and not have facts. So I figured I'd bring some facts. Thank you, man. You don't want to come on here and meet some ladies? I'm sure. Ladies are here. There's a few ladies here. My son, he takes after his mom. He's very handsome. He's very handsome. He's yeah. He got hair. You know, I'm just like, man, this is no fair, man. I didn't know my hair could. If I knew my hair could grow like my son's hair grows, I would have never cut this stuff, man. You know, I was like really hitting my shot in the 90s, and everybody wanted to be Michael Jordan. How many Gen X here cut their hair bald because of Michael Jordan, man? Show of hands, Tim Black's Wolfpack. Yeah, man, a lot of us did it because we saw Michael Jordan. He had an impact on us, so we said, hey, it's cool to be like Michael Jordan. We didn't know he only cut his hair because of his hairline was gone. We just dumb. I cut my hair and I had a hairline. Not knowing pattern baldness runs in the family, right? Because my biological dad, I didn't know much about him too much. You know, my mom married my my real dad when I was 2. So my biological dad, I didn't know he had pattern mouth. So maybe I wouldn't have cut my hair. Maybe I would have been bold, but I don't think I would have. So the point is, Michael Jordan set a trend. He was so popular. He was the most popular person in the world at one point. Most popular person. It was a black man doing this thing, athletics, charisma, movies, shoe. He was larger than life. There was nobody. They talk about LeBron, no. Jordan, because when Jordan was doing it at that time, and I'm not comparing basketballs because I'm just saying, he was everything. So I'm one of the fools that cut my hair, and I'm sure it had to do with him. And I didn't know he cut his hair because he was balding. I wasn't. And then years later, you know, my hair started balding, and it was like I'd already been cutting it so much. I don't know, man. Look, guys, this is what it is. It just never came back, and I was like, uh-oh. But if I would have knew my son got what's it, locks? They call it locks, right? Because you don't say the other thing, Tim. Don't say dreads. That's the colonial mindset making you say dreads. I'm like, man, just stop making up stuff. I know. Yeah, that's what it means, dreads. They dread the blacks. The dreads. So anyway, he's got locks. And they're long, man. And if I would have known I could have done that, oh, man. Hey, man, there's some of y'all. It's some Gen X guys up here, 45, 48, 52, 57. Look, man, having a hair unit, like sewing in fake locks and getting extensions, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's guys my age, man, who just try to fight it and putting in, you're doing stuff, putting on the fake locks. We know what you're doing. I'm just saying, man. I thought about doing that, actually. I did think about doing it. Then I woke up. I'm saying, then I woke up. Mrs. Black was like, nah, we good, baby. We good. I was like, you're right. Because you do it once and you fool people, you meet people. Now you got to keep it up. You have developed a reputation of guy with the hair. You can't show up the next time they see you bald. So that would be bad. So it's yeah. Sometimes you got to give in to life. You know what I'm saying? Just let it go, man. Let it go. Let it go. God. You guys good? Are we ready or what? Anybody know about the Michael Jordan impact on the bald guys that we got caught out there? I'm sure I got some Gen X's in the building, man, know what I'm talking about. I know I do. Yeah, I'm sure I do. How about you, Buck? I'm sure you want to be like Mike. Yeah, white guy in Kentucky. Like, yeah, I wanted to do that, Tim, but then I wasn't stupid because I'm white, Tim. Uli, what's up, Uli? How you doing? Texas grown up in his joint. True Lion. Sam Khaleesi. Yo, Beth Lamb. Khaleesi, you can come on, man. Of course I welcome you on the show. Talking about you would have jokes. Yeah. Oh, you mean if I got a hair unit? Oh, okay. I thought you was trying to be a guest on the show. You know I rock with you, Khaleesi. It's my sister. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Sabrina Hoskins, 48-year-old Gen Xer in the building. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We getting older, but look, we here. That's what's most important, man. You here to tell a story. Man, we got to go on. Look, man, hit the like button for us, man. We just having a conversation. That's all we doing. We just talking. We friendly. We rock, back and forth. We just talking. That's it. We hanging out and talking. And I got some stuff I want to share with you. You're my partner in crime. You know, I ride for you. And I want to share these things because you've been busy. And I want to catch you up on the news cycle. That's all I'm doing. This is not pressure tactics. But I got to make sure you understand. I'm what you call a Democratic Party hater. Got to be clear about that because I don't want you saying, oh, you snuck it in. No, I'm not sneaking in the hate. I'm telling you straight up. I hate them. Yeah. And that's because they've been extorting the black community for 50 years. 50 years. Taking our votes for granted and paying off Al Sharpton and Clyburn and Jesse Jackson and NAACP and Congressional Black Caucus, paying out the Urban League, paying off all these organizations to keep up the fallacy that we shouldn't be twisting their arm back behind their back and pushing it up to the sky to get what we want out of them. We should just be quiet and just go along because they got our back. Now they got a new iteration of Jesse Jackson and, you know, Al Sharpton. They got the new iteration. They got Jasmine Crockett. You know, they got these other Hakeem Jeffries. They got these new black misleadership people to come out. Yeah, it's a sad thing, man. It really is. Let's get things started though, Tim. Here we go. Hit the like button if you I guess I'll give you something to make you want to hit the like button. Let me do that. Let's do that. Let's do the barter system, Tim. Let's actually give him something. Okay, I'm going to bounce through a couple segments to get the show going once again. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack right here on YouTube or on Facebook. Go ahead and do that by hitting the thing. Becoming a member, $5. Starts at $5. There's an extra VIP at $10. And if you want to join on Patreon, go to jointimblack.com. JoinTimBlack.com is where you join to get perks. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm gonna shoot a supplement video just for the VIPs. How about that? Just for the Wolfpack. Yeah. Because I don't live stream tomorrow, so I'll shoot a little something that's private. Yeah, because I can do that. I figure like every couple of weeks I want to shoot something there, you know. It's called incentives for being members. How about that, Dr. Umar? How about giving people an incentive to contribute? You know, like paying back their young brother's money. That'd be an incentive. And then you could like do other things to give people an incentive instead of saying, why don't y'all give me money for nothing? Because I'm going to do something if you give me money. Won't you like do something that would incentivize people, you know? Instead of trying to shame people into donating to your scheme. I mean your scam. I'm sorry. To your cause. Your cause. Let's go. I'm gonna start off with these segments here. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about, and I'm gonna keep talking about it too. I'm gonna keep talking about Carmelo Anthony, and I'm gonna keep talking about Austin Metcalf because I want to. But I want to also provide you this. I want to provide with you some insight. And look, man, it is what it is, man. I saw this on X. I said, I gotta respond to this. I gotta share it with you. Because I don't think I've ever said a nice thing about this guy. And I'm not saying something nice about him now. I'm just going to agree with him. You never know who you might end up agreeing with. And that's the rule. See, when you're a Democrat, you can't agree with anybody that's not a Democrat. Because if you do that, you can get canceled. And I think the same thing works if you're a Republican. I think they call you a rhino when you're a Republican and you agree with anything Democrats want to do. But yeah, I agree with him. Check this out. Here goes somebody. And look, I'm just going to play it because if I say his name, you'll have a negative connotation as soon as I say it. Like, no, Tim, no. So I'm just going to play it. Let's go.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
One where he says,
what is it? Nothing matters but this. He was at a school event at the wrong team's tent with a knife. He clearly chose murder than to walk away, cut and dry here. Nope, wrong. Imagine you are invited to a party at someone else's house and you are legally carrying a firearm. And then a fight breaks out and or like an altercation breaks out between you and some guy and, there's drinking involved or whatever. I'm not trying to make a 1-for-1 scenario. I'm trying to create a potential scenario separate from this one with similarities. You go to a party. Let's say you go to a party. And some guy starts saying stuff like, yo, man, get out of here. And you're like, I can do what I want. I was invited to the party. Verbal altercation escalates. And then the dude, you're standing there and you pull your sweater back and you've got a gun. You put your hand up and say, don't come close to me, bro. I'm warning you right now. Do not come close. Do not take another step. Then the guy grabs your arm and makes a move. So you draw your weapon and you use it. Okay, make the argument. You have no right to defend yourself when you're being attacked by a guy. Make the argument. By all means, go ahead and do so. I ain't going to do it. I don't know the circumstances. You can argue that you're in a place you're not supposed to be. You can argue it's that guy's house, and it doesn't matter. A guy can invite you into your neighbor could be like, come on over, brother. And then if he gets physical with you, you can defend yourself. And then what? The police are going to be like, well, you were in his house. And it's like, yeah, you invited me in. It's like, the door was open.
Next on deck.
Yeah, guys. It's very much cut and dry like that. To me, it's very cut and dry like that. I'm getting all types of people with all types of things to say, all types of mental gymnastics. I think a lot of people are very biased, and they don't even realize they are. They don't realize they are at all. They've never written me about anybody who's been slain, a single black person that's been slain by anyone ever. And then they write you about this guy to speak their counterpoints about my stances about Carmelo Anthony. Never written about Dante Wright or the number of people that they didn't talk about. Breonna Taylor never wrote, never shared, right? I'm thinking about the brother in New York killed in his own house by the cop, but even folks that are private citizens, they didn't write about Zimmerman. They agreed with Zimmerman. So Zimmerman was protecting himself from a person without a gun or a knife with just fists. They were fine with it. He had a scratch on his head. See, he had to do it. They didn't write me about Daniel Penny. They didn't say anything, but now they do, and they don't even realize it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. I appreciate Tim Pool painting it in a scenario that's you would think would be like even a fourth grader would get it. People want to grasp at straws. Well, he wasn't supposed to be at the school. It wasn't a school, it was a track meet, sir. 5 to 10 miles from the school. So now that you know it wasn't a school, even though that didn't got nothing to do with it, because maybe that would be a ticket. It's not jail time to be at a school with a legal pocket knife. As long as the pocket knife is less than 5.5 inches on the blade, it's legal in Texas. Looked it up. You didn't. So he wasn't at a school, and he had a legal pocket knife. Now that that's off the table. And I thought you were supposed to defend yourself from people. And if you give people 2 warnings, maybe that would be enough for people. Now, unless you tell me that Austin Metcalf was hard of hearing. And another thing, Austin did not own the tent. I keep seeing these crazy comments. It wasn't his personal tent. Okay? Anybody could walk under any tent. It's not security, and you got to pay to be at us. You can be walking, the rain comes down, you run to the nearest tent, and you're like, okay, if this rain passes. The rain was so bad that day. It got so bad that they couldn't even interview the witnesses outside. They had to take all the witnesses inside and start interviewing them there because it was just too wet. They had to throw tarps over on the ground because it was getting so soaked, and they were afraid evidence was going to be destroyed because it's like torrential rain out. So There are tents everywhere. But so when you take the tent thing off the table, because you act like it's private property when it's not. Tent is not private property. Your house is private property. Your house is private property. A tent that belongs to a school that you do not own is not your tent. So we got all these weird things people are saying. And I'm not saying it was a good thing. I'm not saying, yay. I'm saying there's a defense for it. Will it equal self-defense? I tend to think it will. I tend to think it would, because when I looked at Daniel Penny, I didn't think that was going to be self-defense. And since you keep saying, Tim, you don't worry, don't be so focused on race. Don't be so much about race. Okay, well, I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay. Maybe America's changed. Maybe America's seeing people defend themselves. They want to be on the side of the person defending themselves no matter what. Even if you are a Marine who's been in active duty, you should be able to defend yourself using lethal force on a homeless 130-pound person who hears voices or whatever. Fine. Because he said things. He said words. He had words with the train. So all of this, folks, made me want to play this clip. And I appreciate Tim Pool stating his opinion. That's all he did. I tend to agree with it. Doesn't mean we agree on anything else, because I don't know what he really stands for. I just know things that he said that I didn't agree with. But yeah. It's just getting bad out here, man. But let's cut the crap about, oh gosh, whew, this is going to destroy race relations. Now, they were already destroyed, Johnson. Seriously, you sound as delusional as Democrats going, oh, that Trump is coming. He's stolen our democracy. Oh, you mean the one where Obama was wiretapping American citizens? Congress people? His administration were wiretapping Congress people without their knowledge. You mean that type of destroying democracy? Oh, that's why we didn't talk about it, because Obama did it. Okay, my bad. Though I go thinking you really meant democracy. You just mean things Republicans did you don't like, because you start sounding goofy like them when like these people, when you act as if this issue. Now, man, there was always going to be more things that happen. America plays the race thing so often. You have to understand there's so much money in it for them. Look, man, whenever the situation sets itself up, because a lot of things happen every day you don't hear about, right? There's always a person that says, Tim Black, when a black person's killed by, in this case, it's a black person killing a white person, but of course, whenever there's dynamics like this, I get somebody that says, Tim Black, would you even be talking about this if this wasn't, a white guy and a black guy? I would, because I talk about black people issues. You don't watch my content to know. I cover black news, politics, and breaking news, black culture. So I do. Now, would you? I don't think you would, who don't cover black anything. You're only here because it's a white guy. That's the reason why you even hear my content, because I cover so much black content. I don't get many white people that come through that are just, unless they are also consuming black content. And for you to ask that question means I know you don't know that I cover black issues. I'm about to cover Godfrey, T.K. Kirkland, and I forget the other guy's name, and they're all black, because I cover black people's stuff. So yeah, I would cover black people's stuff without a white guy being involved. Yes, I would. But I don't see the same. But back to my point before we get out, guys, one of the things about this people what we must understand is that, man, using race is like a money machine for the newspapers. Corporate media, it's like hitting a small lottery every time they get to do this. Every time, man. when it lines up just right, where when you got black people and white people on either side of this thing, man, because you got to realize a lot of people get deleted every day. You got to realize this. Every day, lots of people get deleted. When one hits the radar that has these types of dynamics, it's just field day for them. It's not us. It's not you. It's not me. It's all the residual frustration, anger, bitterness, animosity, all these things about race that have been always under the surface. And I think that's really why they never really want to solve it. Because there's too much money in it. Instead of being goofy like Eddie Griffin and saying, he said it wasn't race related. Instead of saying dumb things like that when everything in America is race related, you wouldn't go up to a person. You wouldn't go to a woman who just got beat up by a man or abused up by a man or SA'd by a man and say, it's got nothing to do with gender. You wouldn't do that. You know? First, it's up to her to say that, right? You don't know why he did it. I'm sure he could have essayed the guy, but he chose to essay her. You know what I'm just saying? But I'm just saying it just seems like there's a lot of people that want to make arguments that don't make any damn sense. And all I'm saying is this. America's always going to play these cards because they're always available. And they're always available because we haven't dealt with situations. And I don't think they want to deal with them. I think America, and that doesn't mean every one of us, but it means America as a whole, they don't want to address racial issue. Not really. They don't want black people to increase their wealth and be, have wealth that's comparable to white Americans. They don't really want it. Well, what happened? So this story is going to be with us for a while. We're going to report on it here. We're going to report the updates to it. I respect a person who did not agree with Daniel Penny and doesn't agree with this. If you didn't agree with Daniel Penny and you're looking at what happened here and you say, I don't agree with this, then fine. Fine, because you are consistent. If you did not agree with George Zimmerman and you don't agree with Daniel Penny, and you say, hey, this kid, I know they're kids, but he took another kid's life and I don't agree with that. And, so what he says, he was defending himself. He didn't have to defend himself to that degree. That's the same thing I felt about Zimmerman. That's what I think. But Zimmerman, he instigated and stalked this kid, not the other way around. I feel like Austin, in my opinion, I felt that he created the dynamics that led to this. That's what I think. And I don't think Zimmerman told Trayvon, I'm going to shoot you if you don't do what, I'm going to warn you, I don't think that's what happened. I think if Zimmerman would have said, I got this thing on me, I think Trayvon would have ran home. That's just what I think. I don't think he thought he could fight bullets. But instead of saying, hey, it's good for a person to say, look, let me just tell you, back up, you don't want to, that's a warning. Instead of people taking it as a warning and saying that's a good thing, that means he didn't want to take his life. They're saying, oh, that man, he wants to take his life. You can't win. Where I come from, a person saying, hey, man, I got that on me. You need to keep it moving. That's a gift. But, I grew up a certain way around people who had that thing, so we got people that don't understand that. They don't understand it. They can't understand it. They can't fathom why a person would say that. That's telling you not to. And if Austin would have listened, and if his dad raised him when he had him on weekends or every other weekend, because, parents ain't together, right? So I don't know what's going on with the dynamics. People not reporting on all this stuff about Austin Metcalf and Hunter and the dad who's out here in front of all these cameras saying it ain't this and it ain't that and crying. And people going, oh, I feel so bad for him. And you should feel bad for him. I'm hearing all types of stuff. Mom working 3 jobs. I don't know what dad does. They got 2 different GoFundMes raising money. Up here making all these comments. Look, at the end of the day, if the bigger guy would have just listened to the little guy and left him alone, We ain't sitting here. We are not sitting here. That's all it would have took. So I appreciate Tim Pool. He got a and one of the reasons why I appreciate Tim Pool on this is because he's taking a big hit from conservatives by taking this stance. And all he's saying is, hey, I thought we supported self-defense. He's not saying I need to stand with the blacks. He's saying, hey, it's self-defense. I thought we supported self-defense. Now, if something comes out that proves somehow that Carmelo Anthony intentionally stalked this kid, went there with intentions of hurting Austin, man has a manifesto, made a chat, sent a text, made a post saying, I'm gonna get this guy when I see him, or something like that. Told somebody, I'm about to go do him, and it's believable. If it's believable, that would change everything for me. That would change things for me. But as it stands, I'm holding my position. All right, guys, enough. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Hey, look, man, we ain't got to agree on everything, and I'm sure we don't. But I want you to know that's my stance, and I'm not moving on it unless I get new information. Hopefully, some people are thinking a little bit different and, reconsider themselves, but they don't have to. They don't have to reconsider. They can think as ignorantly as they want. Yeah, where I come from, when someone says, hey, man, this guy got a gun, that's not mean I need to go at him, or this guy's got a weapon. That doesn't mean go at him. That means leave him alone. These people talking like it meant, because they already know that this young guy, I'm sorry, I had to say this, they already know that Austin, they have a sense that he thought he was larger than life, that he could do whatever he wanted to do to people, that he could be the aggressor. So to them, they say it's a provocation for him to be told, I might have that thing on me. They consider that a provocation because you can't be telling big white kid, you can't tell strapping, this tall, this big strapping dude that, I got that. You need to not put your hands on me because you're going to find out. Like, that to me is, I think there's a lot of people who did not want to leave here early wish that somebody gave them that type of notice. And only people that are entitled, who feel entitled to do what they want to do to other people, will see that as provocation. And I don't care if Judge Joe Brown said it or the other guy, the self-defense attorney, said it. I don't care. I disagree. I double dog disagree. Where we come from, somebody tell you I'm about to knock your ass out, you can say it's a warning, and if you ain't got hands, that's a good thing to know. And someone say, hey, if you lay hands on me, something gonna happen to you. That where I come from, that's called a warning. That's called grace, sir. That's what that called. That's not called you need to do it anyway. It's called grace. It's called I don't want to hurt you. They're talking like he should have been quiet. And when he got hands laid on him, hit him. And then you'll go, well, that's what he should have did then, because that's really all that's all they got. That he said, don't touch me or something's gonna happen to you. What kind of psychological mess is this guy that when someone says, don't touch me, something's gonna happen to you? If you do, you don't believe him. Why is that? Because he was bigger and he was more aggressive and he had his other brother with him and all the people in that tent with him. So he didn't need to listen to a warning. He didn't need to listen to the little black kid telling telling him, don't do this, so something's gonna happen. You don't need to listen to that. And now his life is lost. So I question the culture that raised that young man to think that's okay. Yeah, I question that culture. Instead of having these morons indict black culture, what about white culture that taught him that was cool? He paid the ultimate price, dummies. And if another person, I know I said I was going to let it go, but I can't, I'm going there. If another person sends me a Charleston White video and his deep thoughts on this, anytime someone says, hey man, I'm just playing a character, they've already removed themselves from any serious conversation about anything. Okay? He said, I'm just playing a character. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. He said, I'm a clown. Charleston White online is a character. Why would I take him seriously? Why are you taking him seriously? It's like Rachel Maddow went to a lawsuit and said, hey, well, they said, we're going to sue the hell out of MSNBC and you for your show. And she said, oh, it's not a news show. It's an entertainment show. And my people don't expect me to tell them facts. They expect me to, just, say whatever I want to say. Right, Your Honor? And they let it pass. Same thing with Fox News. Same thing with Fox News. So anyway, Charleston White is like Fox News. Anyway, Rachel Maddow. A clown. So stop sending it to me because he said this, he said that. He'll say anything to keep his little internet thing going so he could go do his stand-up and ninja in a room full of people drunk. And pretend that's a set. Come on, man. All right, let's keep it moving, guys. Wow, that was long. Hope that was helpful. Y'all ready, man? Y'all can see I'm a little pissed off about that, though, right? It's all good. My condolences to the family. And also, as well as my condolences to the Metcalfs. Y'all ready? So we try to keep our families together because when you don't stay with the mom, sometimes bad things, kids raised by the movies and Austin Metcalf was probably raised more so by movies and these things, and that's why we try to keep our families together. Like, like the Anthonys, married almost 20 years, live under the same roof, 4 kids, same, That's why we try to do that. Yeah, that hurts, don't it? To see? Yeah, what's that got to do with it, Tim? That's what they do to us all the time. See, that's when people don't like hearing that when it's flipped. All right, I'm sorry. Let's keep going, guys. Next, what we got, Tim? Move on, Tim. Damn it, Tim. Let's go on.
With Tim Black.
This, to me, is one of the most shocking pieces of poll data that I truthfully have seen this year, or maybe in any prior year.
Really?
Yes, really, because I want you to take a look. Cares more about the needs for people like you. You mentioned the Cape Ball. We got a tie, even after this tariff war had already started, split between Democrats and Republicans on how people feel. Which party cares more for needs of people like you? And why is that so surprising? Because I want you to take a look at prior years. Democrats always lead on this question. Back in 2017, before the 2018 midterms, 13-point lead. 2005, a 23-point lead for Democrats. 1994, which was a big Republican year, a 19-point lead for Democrats. And now, all of a sudden, a tie? All of a sudden, the Democrats, who are the party of the people, no more. We get a tie on this question, on a question that has traditionally overwhelmingly been a Democratic advantage. Which party cares more for the needs of people like you? It's truly something I would not have expected to see, especially after this tariff war had begun.
I don't know why you wouldn't expect to see it. Do you hear these people talk? They're crying about Wall Street. Yeah, they're crying, and Wall Street people are going to take a hit. Hey, I think that a lot of working class people don't have that many stocks to worry about. You know what I'm saying? And, Trump says he's doing it to bring jobs back. And what's the Democrat argument? Oh, these jobs are not going to pay well enough. It doesn't matter. Let me get this right. They argue that we should have more immigrants come in the country because how else are we going to pick the fruit and stuff? Now you're telling us we don't need manufacturing jobs. We don't need, any, factory workers, American factory workers, because that's beneath. So working class people, they feel it. They're looking at what's happening. I think it's having an impact on the Democratic Party. So yeah, there's one group of people that are fighting to keep the jobs continue to go overseas, and they're making that argument. They're saying it very clearly. Yeah, go. Some of them are even rooting for China against their own country, just because Trump. All over Trump. I'm telling you, Trump has broke their brains. Their brains have been destroyed. And it's because of Donald Trump.
Where does it show that Republicans are making the most gains?
Yeah, again, you talk about party of the people. Look at this. Cares for the needs of people like yourself. Look here, we got non-college, we got those with a college degree. Among those with a college degree, it's the same score. 8 plus 18 points for Democrats in 2017, plus 18 points for Democrats now. But look among non-college voters. Look here. It was plus 7 for Democrats in 2017, and now Republicans had overwhelmingly gained, plus 9 points. That is, the gains have been concentrated, at least within the last decade, among voters without a college degree. The working class, that is where Republicans have gained, even since the beginning of the Donald Trump administration. The Democratic base is now those with a college degree. Among the working class, those without a college degree, Republicans have overwhelmingly gained on this all-important question of which party cares more for people like yourself.
Check it out now. And none of that makes sense. It's just like basic math. The people with the college degrees don't care about factory jobs. They don't care about trade coming back to America. Not as much. They work in professions that don't require, professions that require their college degrees. That's probably why they went to college. Or if they're not working in those capacities, they hope to. So, yeah, I can understand them being more concerned with other things. But the people, the class, the people of working, the working class situation, that would be a little bit different. And I hear people say, Tim, when they say working class, they mean white. Nah, they could also... we got to stop giving in to the Democrats saying stuff. And you just going with it because you heard Democrats say it. All right. Most Black Americans don't have degrees. And it's just what it is. We obtain degrees at a lower percentage, Black men in particular, okay? And if you add us with a Black woman, it kind of drags down the average. So, and, we go... even those that go, do we always graduate? And if we do graduate, do we always find the jobs? So it's a lot of dynamics to it. But this is something else that I was pointing out last year, I think it was last year. Yeah, 2024. People talk a lot about a civil war, but I think it's going to be a class war. And this is what I'm talking about. This is class-based anger and bitterness going on right now. The people with are looking at the poor people like, you're messing up. You're messing up. Who's going to pick my fruit? Now, we all know that, there are people ain't coming over here to pick fruit. They might do that for a couple of weeks if they had to, but they want to get into the textile industry, landscaping, roofing, construction. This is what they want. They don't want to, who the hell? So this goofy narrative that the Democrats have been able to spin is a fallacy. But they themselves are not worried because they are ones with multiple degrees and who are not impacted by this. They just want worker bees to go get their cars when they valet. They want somebody to make them a new rice bowl. They want to be able to go to Chipotle and get their burrito rolled tightly. They could care less. They want somebody to come unstop the toilet when it gets clogged up. They don't care about working people. And Governor Westmore in my state of Maryland just signed legislation that will increase the number of apprenticeship positions, apprenticeship training programs in Maryland. And I want to give it up for that. I don't know what else they're doing, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Because when I was in high school, we had a shop class. And after you left that shop, if you were engineer, if you were really serious, you could take additional shop classes that prepared you to go out and be an apprentice and be in an entry-level position, doing plumbing, doing surveys, which I always thought was cool as hell, the survey guy. Yeah. Electrical work, you name it. So that's coming back. It needs to come back. It should have never left. Those are the jobs people want. Skilled work. Okay? Let's keep going.
Your reference points are, as you were pointing out, just before a midterm election. So obviously, let's kind of look at that. Where do things stand for the fight for Congress?
Right. Okay. So you have this question, right? And then there's the question, ultimately, are Republicans going to get punished in this midterm election, in part because that's normally what happens, the party in power gets punished, but also because of this tariff war. And I want you to take a look here at the generic congressional ballot. Where we were in April of 2017, Democrats were already ahead by 7 points. In November of 2024 on this question, it was a tie, and then, of course, Republicans won control. Where are we now? It's Democrats, but just by a point. This looks very much still like what we saw in 2024, not like what we saw in 2017. If Democrats think they automatically have a ticket back to control of the House, I'd say, hold on a second. Republicans still have a real shot at this, despite all of Trump's theatrics over the last month with this tariff war.
Yeah, and Trump is gone. He's zigging and zagging and saying it's, 3D chess, what have you. It looks like it's discombobulated mess. What's going on? And yeah, that's how it looks. But apparently it's not hurting him too much. Now, will that hold? I don't know. But hey, the numbers are coming out. And this is why you got a Jasmine Crockett. We got Cory Booker, doing a filibuster about no particular thing. And him acting like this is so strong and courageous. Yeah, I've had a bout of insomnia before. No one called it courageous. If he was fighting for something that actually helps you, or fighting to get something that actually hurts you, something that was being proposed, maybe that'd be different, but he wasn't. It's the epitome of grandstanding. We're going to cover it later because he was on The View. But it's what they like. It's all they got left. It's their Hail Mary. They're going to continue to do it. Let's see if it wins the day for them.
There really is interesting information coming out in this that you're pulling out. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you. I think it's interesting. Kate agrees.
Yeah, he's an overactor. He needs is it the Adderall? Is that what it is? The Adderall? That's what it is. Yeah, it's you need to calm down there. Maybe it's cocaine. I don't know what it is, but that guy's Mr. Energized, Mr. Jazz Hands. Yeah. Doing yoga, doing segments. That's always interesting. Let me know what y'all think, guys. Looks like the Democratic Party ain't looking so good. The polls show all the nonsense, all the coverage, demonized. Doge is just to help Elon become richer. He's already the richest person on the planet. Yeah, I know, but it's just before he can put money in his pocket. Oh, okay. Doesn't he already have all the monies? Yeah, he's got all the money, but he's just trying to do more money. Oh, that's all you got. Okay. Was anything he said true? I don't know. I know. You can't trust him. Okay. So it's no corruption. Well, why did Obama and Clinton and Bush and why did everybody except Biden want to do the same thing, cut government? Oh, because shut up, Tim. There you go. You're a Trumper. I knew it. That's as far as you get with them because they got nothing else to say. They self-explode. They implode. They implode. Got nowhere to go. So it's not working out for them the way they wanted to. And you know what? I'm glad because I'm a Democratic Party hater. When you're a Democratic Party hater, you're praying or hoping. You're rooting for the demise of the Democratic Party because some got to get black people out to burn the building. And maybe if they smell Chuck Schumer on fire, maybe they'll leave. Hit the like button if that made sense to you. Hit the like button. Let's keep it going, man. What's next? We on a roll.
For once.
For once.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
It would be hard to think of a more elegant way to reduce prosperity.
This guy's going to explain exactly what I'm talking about when I say the Democratic Party is a party of the rich. The rich. And they look, and if you're rich or you are upper middle class and you like your pronouns and all that stuff, and you know, and you all the social issues, you're like, hey, I'm cool with that. And hey, look, I don't even have kids in school. Why do I care if there's a, girl on the basketball? Who cares who's playing ball? I don't care about these things. Just get off my lawn. And when I want to go down to the Home Depot, I want to be able to pick up a few guys to do work off the books. And I want life to stay the way it is. Shut up with all this talking and this mess. And how'd you let the evil orange demon back in the White House? This guy is the epitome of that. He's going to say a bunch of things that rich white people say. Here he goes.
Or like an altercation and makes a move.
Poll data that I truly, because I want you to take a look. No, after this tariff, 8 plus 18,
get out of here.
Yourself. Democrats, but just by a point.
Get out of here.
It would be hard to think of a more elegant way to reduce prosperity this fast. Let's talk about Apple. The notion was we were going to bring back all those great jobs. The average Apple assembly person in China makes $500 a month. The average Apple employee focusing on more high-value things like design, store management, makes $200,000 a year here. We want to wear Nikes. We don't want to make them.
Yeah, now he's getting his something when you get talking points from Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Not only is he a jackass, but he's a thief too. He's a joke thief. What if he stole that line, you're not gonna call him out as, just out of respect for your fellow comedian friend? Let me get this right. Since China has virtual slave labor, we should continue to let them, do all our manufacturing for us. Meanwhile, most Americans are working like it's, driving Instacart and Uber, DoorDash, Amazon trucks. That's what you're saying. That's the point. Maybe Apple, and people need to wrap their head around this. Maybe Apple should pay Americans, money to produce their phones. Lower the amount of money they give themselves as employees, or I'm not employees, but as the execs. Hear me out. Maybe you're not supposed to make that much of a dividend that goes to shareholders. Maybe you're supposed to run a business that employs American citizens that you don't use slave labor in foreign countries, to then also have an inflated price. We all know that the Apple only costs them pennies to make. Why can't they sell it at a more reasonable price? I mean, guys, the Apple, you know what? I don't even want to guess. Let's just do it, man. We got great stuff here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we just ask the question live, Johnson. How much does the Apple iPhone cost for Apple to produce? I thought I was going to read it, but it says the production cost of an iPhone varies based on the model and manufacturing location. For instance, the iPhone 16 Pro has an estimated production cost of approximately $550. So I was a little wrong there. See, I read it anyway, right? Because I want to be wrong. How much does it retail for? If Apple were to shift iPhone manufacturing entirely to the U.S., the cost would escalate significantly. Estimates suggest the production cost could rise to around $3,500 per phone due to higher labor expenses. I don't think that's true. And I know I just read it. I think iPhones overpriced. I think they're overpriced now. I think that $3,500 would be the cost of the unit. How much should they really sell an iPhone for? It should be the question. If you were just going to make, what's the average profit margin? 50%, 30%? I think it's 40%, right? 40% is like the sweet spot, if I'm not mistaken, for where you want your profit margin to be. So at the most, an iPhone should be $1,000. Not even that, right? Because that's double. So an iPhone should really be $800. It's not $800. So what I'm saying is the price that they sell iPhones for now is already enlarged. I don't think Apple would go out of business having to do business in the United States employing American citizens and paying them a decent wage. I just don't think they would. No one says they got to make $50,000 a year, but they can make, decent money. They can make more than, $500 a month that they're making in China. That's just slave labor, man. That's all that is. But the Democrats want to continue it, and they want to say, hey, Americans want you to continue slave labor. Yeah, maybe they do. Do they realize that there are American citizens who could be employed, who could be able to add to our economy as well, who are doing jobs that they don't particularly care for, don't like, that don't make them happy at all, or can't find gainful employment, not real gainful employment? People are stitching together various gig economy jobs to stay living indoors. 40% of the homeless rate, Black Americans. 13% of the population. 50% of homeless families, Black Americans. I'm advocating for Black Americans through this issue, like I do most issues. Just so happens, what's good for Black Americans is also good for the country. What I'm saying, Apple iPhone's overpriced to begin with. We already know that. The reason why they're doing so well is because they're overpriced. That's why they're such a valuable company, because they're overpriced. If they would cut some of their prices, also cut the amount of money that they report to their shareholders, cut that. Yeah, we get more in the ballpark of where it's supposed to be. This is where it's supposed to be. It's like somebody who's walking around consuming 3,000, 4,000 calories a day, and then the doctor says, if you keep eating like this, you're going to die. And they say, okay, now you got to eat to 2,000 calories. You got to eat at the deficit. Really, that 2,000 calories is where you need to be. It feels like torture. Well, it's going to feel like torture for a while. But when you see the results, and those results, it's going to be less obesity, no heart disease, a little bit lighter on your feet. And who knows, maybe even be at the beach with your shirt off. We can hope. And then I don't know, maybe when it gets really good to you, then maybe you could drop it even further. I don't know, but what I'm saying is the doom and gloom that they're preaching right now is for the corporations and about how America's going to feel about their favorite products. Yeah, what about how we feel about our favorite people? Like our neighbors. Oh, that's right, when you're this guy, or when you're Whoopi. Do you really have favorite people that are living like paycheck to paycheck? I don't think she does, Johnson. I don't think Whoopi has been living that way in 30 years.
We have outsourced low-wage jobs overseas such that we can create more profits, more investments, and create higher-wage jobs. If these tariffs hold,
no, we did not outsource low-wage jobs. We outsourced jobs that were good jobs to foreign countries that pay low wages. See, they're liars. We didn't outsource good jobs or lower-paying jobs. We kept low-paying jobs here. It's called Uber. It's called Instacart. It's called Walmart representative. It's called cashier at Weiss or Wise or whatever the hell it is. It's called Whole Foods stock person. It's called Amazon, back whatever stock room. Those are low-wage jobs. Hate to say it, but it's true. Okay? The jobs that left America and went to other countries, they weren't low wage when they were here. Here, they were good jobs. The manufacturing jobs that left were good jobs. We used to be able to raise families off those jobs. That's why you wanted to outsource them. You didn't outsource low-wage jobs, and we got a bunch of horrible people on this. Everybody on this panel, all of them. They let this liar sit up there and say that. Now, one person's going to speak up and say, hold on a second. Nah, when they threw the NAFTA thing in here, when we played the NAFTA card and sent all the manufacturing overseas, those jobs were good jobs. Those jobs kept families. Once upon a time, folks, it used to be that the wife could choose to work on that. Now it ain't a choice, it's a mandatory. Mandatory. Because those jobs that he's talking about were low-wage jobs, were jobs that one person could work and they would be able to pay the bills. More women entered the workforce, obviously, after World War II, but what I'm saying is, because of World War II, a lot of them did, for instance. But and black women have historically worked more than white women as far as that. So I get that, and I know this. But what I'm saying is, once upon a time, it was a different time. He's lying when he says, oh, we outsourced all the low-paying jobs. No, we outsourced them to countries that would pay low wages. Big difference.
Your iPhone's going to go from $1,000 to $2,300. To make an iPhone in the U.S., it would cost $3,500. As a result, the threats of these tariffs take Apple stock down the value of Walmart in 3 days.
Why do I care? Why do I care? It's just the market correcting itself. At some point, America's got to correct itself. Or even go bye-bye America.
If these tariffs hold, 80% of toys under the Christmas tree are from China. Right. So 90% of U.S. households are budget.
He gets to sit up here and run through these talking points. No one corrects him. No one stops him. No one says a damn thing. Like he's the smartest person in the room. Is he smart or is he lying? Does he have a bunch of talking points? That's all he has is talking points.
Constrained. So we're talking about half the number of toys. We're talking about a destruction in shareholder value such that your parents can't retire.
Well, how about you just buy American toys? That's what China does. China doesn't buy American toys. Right? So why are we buying their shit? I don't get it, man. I think this is an argument that doesn't make any sense. Unless you're being paid for those same corporations or paid by those corporations, unless this guy, Chrome Dome, this guy, Glasses, yeah, I'm calling myself out in two insults, land on me accidentally. Look, this dude is talking like he works for these people. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. I don't have Apple stock. Even if I did have Apple stock. I guess if I had Apple stock, I'd feel different, wouldn't I? I guess I would. Do you get the point? Yeah.
Tires quickly. And we're talking about the entire world rerouting their supply chain around brand America, which quite frankly right now is toxic uncertainty, so they can bypass a series of unpredictable, epileptic, sclerotic decisions where we finally need to acknowledge.
Yeah, I'm going to say a bunch of big words that most people won't even know what I'm saying, but it makes me seem like I'm really saying something that's important. When all I'm really saying is, screw the working class. Screw them. You got food stamps, don't you? Well, shut up. Go get my car, darky. That's what they're saying.
We have someone at the wheel of the global economy that is blackout drunk right now.
And there better not be a scratch on it when you bring it back either, Julio. That's what we're dealing with here. That's that guy. That's that guy. And that's what he's saying. Go pick my pineapples and my cucumbers. You blacks, you go do whichever you do, whatever it is. Go do the hibbity, hibbity, hobbity. Go listen to your Kendrick Lamar. Keep on working at the, prison guards or something, whatever you do. Because you ain't going to get a factory job. You ain't going to be help build these Hondas.
Yeah.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Kids Wish Network. Look at this.
Oh, this is so disgusting. I hope that I can play this clip. It's from Joe Rogan. And it's an important clip because it's really disgusting. Folks, I want you to realize this is not just this one company. And this is not even a new thing. This is something, the topic that they're going to bring up in this clip is something that is timeless. And it's actually an old story. But so many people were unaware of it, I wanted to include it tonight. Check this out, folks.
Kids Wish Network. Look at this. They raised $127 million. They paid the solicitors $109 million. And they spent percentage on direct cash aid to the actual kids is 2.5%. 2.5%. Look at the Cancer Fund of America. Less than 1% went to the actual thing.
The cause of autism is now a...
Stop. So what he was talking about here, it's a charity called Kids Wish Network, right? So Kids Wish Network, I think it's like the Wish Foundation or something similar to that, right? So you make a wish for the kids and it's showing how much money that they raise actually goes to do the thing that they're raising money for. And it's like a list, and the Cancer Foundation was even worse. The Cancer Foundation, they raised almost $100 million. This is based on 10 years of federal tax filings, right? The Cancer Fund of America raised almost $100 million. Less than 1% of the money that was raised went to do the thing that they raised the money for. 80% of the money was paid to the solicitors. The solicitors are the people that work at the place. So basically, you got a nonprofit that basically profits you, that pays your salary, that pays for the building, that pays for the stuff. And this is what I've been pointing out to people over and over and over about non-government organizations. And how U.S. aid agency was giving money to these types of organizations. People having nonprofits who were connected to other people that knew people in the Democratic Party, for instance. I want you to see how bad this is. Once again, I'm taking some liberties here. I hope we're good. I hadn't seen this clip before. Check it out.
Well, it's good to be generous, especially on Kindness Day, but there are some charities that deserve extra scrutiny. 8 on Your Side investigator Mark Douglas has been tracking some of those charities for over 16 years, and right now, tonight, we are talking about the Kids Wish Network. Tell us more, Mark.
Well, Stacey, Kids Wish Network now raises about $14 million a year from donors who want to help children. Makes sense, right? Now, as the name implies, this Pasco-based charity grants wishes to kids with life-threatening illnesses. But wait till you see how little money they spend on that. This week, the Kids Wish Network showed up at a toy giveaway in Lake Wales with yo-yos, puzzles, and stuffed animals that their CFO claimed were worth a fortune.
About, I believe, $200,000 worth of toys and necessity items.
Last year, Kids Wish Network told the IRS it raised about $14 million and spent less than 1%, that's 1 penny on the dollar, on wishes for kids with life-threatening illness. The charity paid its 2 top managers $340,000, nearly 3 times as much as those wishes. How's that for a Kids Wish executive's wish come true?
And this is, look, guys, I want you to know, this is what's been going on. This is the type of corruption I've been talking about. This is a private organization. This is the same type of stuff that happens in government. Most of the money that is given to these government agencies go to funding the people that work at the agency, not to the thing they're supposed to be resolving, the thing they're supposed to be there to serve. So we need to clean out, I think we need to clean out, I say we need to clean out the people that are facilitating this. Once again, it's not to demonize government workers. Who put this thing together, man? Who are the people? See, my thing is, you don't fire the workers. You go after the people that run the agency in this way. Look, I think the reason why most Americans are upset about people losing their jobs in these agencies is because then they're going after the regular workers. Man, regular workers, do you think that you think this lady and the other people that work here at this charity would want those CEOs to be getting all that money? Meanwhile, only less than a penny for a dollar is going for the kids. I'm betting these people really care about those damn kids. Right? Can we give them that? Can we not be so cynical that we believe that everyone's a scumbag? Some people really do care about one another. Some people really care about their jobs. Some people really care, and they want to do the right things. And that's why they signed up. Man, you don't know how many people, man, you go out into this world, guys, and you have green eyes, you got big eyes, you want to do big things. And then you get in there, and you see how things are done, and it's a slap in the face. If you haven't experienced that, you ain't been in part of the world yet. You ain't been here yet. You haven't gone out yet. It's coming once you figure it out. If you still think look, man, it's a setup. My knock against Trump and Doge is it's targeting the wrong people. If you just shut down an agency, you're just getting worker bees. It's the same thing with the immigrant situation. I don't want you just going after immigrants who came across the border, who want to find a job, whatever. Go after them. But I want these employers. We got to get the employers that are employing these people. Because the employers that are employing these people keep up the demand for more immigration, more illegal immigration. They keep up the demand because if we're competing with companies and we're competing against one another for business, and you can price your services lower because you hire people that don't have to get a minimum wage, then you can unfairly cut me in the market. Back to my point. So we have to not just go after the little guy. We can't just go after the person with the t-shirt on for the charity. No, they're not the problem. And when you go after the GS 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in government agencies, they're doing their jobs. Of course, there are going to be some people, that don't understand this. What I'm saying is, it's a racket. It's a monstrosity to kind of try to wrap your hands around it and fix it. But it's a fight worth doing. Look at the amount of bloat. 1 penny on the dollar. Think about all the people that gave to these organizations. Unless you think that this charity is just grossly the worst in the world. No, it's probably about 50%. It's probably right in the middle, okay? What I'm saying is, I do not believe that this Kids Wish Network is the worst thing that ever happened. I gotta assume they learned from other people. These are the practices of other organizations that do similar work. They do photo ops, they help a couple kids, and they use that. And do you think about all the people that gave to it, that gave their hard-earned money to this organization? Why did they do it? They didn't do it to fund somebody's crappy lifestyle or to buy a boat, or upgrade their Keurig, coffee machine. They did it to help the kids. So they're being bamboozled. They're being bamboozled. So, look, if it was up to me, and it should be up to us, when it's up to me, it's up to us. If it's up to us, I hope that we could say, hey, you know what? I don't trust these systems. I don't trust these people that run these organizations. I don't trust that all these NGOs are doing all this great work because they all say it. Look, man, Haiti. How many people can remember Haiti? Haiti raised how many millions? $488 million was raised for Haitians after the earthquake. $488 million. That's $500 million managed by the Clinton Foundation. You know how many homes they built? 6. 6. We say, look, guys, look what happened. Look at the bloat. Look at the corruption. Look at the fraud. People gave that money. So when we report on these things, when we make these issues, we raise these issues, we raise these questions, we got the very people pushing back out of ignorance against what we're trying to get reformed. And look, man, good people are being used and suckered. The average working stiff, the person that was raising money for Haiti, they ain't getting a cut of that. It's up the top. It's not the little people. You think the people that were outside canvassing, the activists, all the people that cared about the people of Haiti, you think they were getting a cut riding around in limos? No, it's up here. Same thing with any government agency that was doing the investigation of what makes caterpillars caterpillar. You know, the mating of the muskrat in Indonesia. $50 million. Like, do you really think that money went to that? I mean, I got a lot of people watching, and I'm thinking I got a lot of smart people watching. Talk to people that don't know what's going on. Tell them it's a racket. Please. Tell them to take off the rose-colored glasses. That $50 million never went to that muskrat shit. Somebody used ChatGPT, wrote the reports, and went to Italy. All right, next. RFK Jr. wants to talk to you about autism, and I want to let him because I think somebody needs to. Though they want to demonize the hell out of this guy. Like he doesn't have a point.
2.5%. Look at the Cancer Fund of America. Less than 1% went to the actual thing.
The cost of autism is now $1 trillion a year. My generation, I'm 70, you're 60. I'm 70 years old.
I didn't know anybody with autism.
No, we knew nobody when we were a kid.
I didn't know anybody with peanut allergies.
No, my kid, my wife, I had 11 siblings, 70 cousins, nobody with a peanut allergy. Why do 5 of my 7 kids have allergies?
Mm-hmm.
Why does, the autism rates in my generation today, right now, 2024, 1 in 10,000 70-year-old men have autism. In my kids' generations, 1 in every 34 kids, 1 in every 22 boys, according to CDC. Nobody's talking about this. These are bankrupting our country. It's $1 trillion a year just for autism. All these kids who are disabled. Nobody's talking about why is this happening.
And see, these are the type of things that people don't want to address. They want to just say, oh, this guy's cooking. He said something about vaccines. Do you realize that those vaccines, you can't sue if you get sick by a vaccine? And the people that approve the vaccines are funded by the people who make the vaccines, who sell the vaccines. It's a racket. When you get, in America, like everything, most things in America, including our media and our healthcare, it's for profit. When you have a for-profit industry, it will be corrupted. It becomes corrupt. The church, when you're running a church and you're taking money, and when it becomes corrupt, it's because there's money, and they want to raise money and they do the thing. Money corrupts people. It always has a potential, right? But in that system, where you get paid to develop a drug, and then that drug is marked up exponentially, the propensity or the ability for it to produce corruption and side effects, and then you can't sue them. Like, look, I don't know everything about RFK Jr.'s stances on this stuff. Okay, I don't. But anybody going and saying, we need to take a look at this. We need to detach the people testing the drugs from the people that make the drugs. They can't be the same people, and they can't be connected. They can't have an adulterous relationship, and they can't be passing money back and forth. I mean, how hard is that? What do you want? Okay, last thing, guys. We have a lot of Black Americans, man. And see, I fault the misleadership. I fault the Democratic Party. Because by and large, guys, the Democratic Party has the ear of the Black Americans. Way too many Black Americans went along with the Democratic Party, and they don't realize the Democratic Party ain't going along with us. We're being overly punished and hindered and hurt. Our children are being affected by this. You understand what I'm saying? And then we're siding with people that don't want to look at these policies, that don't want to look at the way the government's been operating, that don't want to look at the way we approve vaccines. Oh, no wonder why the number of vaccines went from 10 to 70. They make money off of them. And you introduce the idea, they go, well, guy's kooky. He's just against vaccines. He's Hitler. You don't get it. They do this with everything. They take anything you say when you disagree with them, and they smear you and call you kooky, a fascist, Hitler, Idi Amin, anything they can to smear you. And it takes people like Joy Reid, Don Lemon, people that Black people by and large listen to. I don't know why. Those people are paid heavy amounts of money. They're paid money not to tell you the truth. They're paid money not to tell you the truth. That's what it's for. They're not getting paid to report the news. They never were getting paid to report the news. They were being paid not to report the news. When I say we need to get out the Democratic Party, it's the only way that we can cleanse ourselves and look at this thing with bright eyes, with clear eyes, and see the truth. Anything that can be gamed will be gamed by people that are playing the game. And to call that out and to look at it, hey, please take a look at it. I got grandbabies. I want my grandbabies healthy, and I'm concerned. There are other people that trust in the government. I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, we're one of the last groups I think that would ever trust the government when it comes to healthcare. When it comes to what they tell us what we have, tell us what we have to do in order to be, good Americans. It's not an endorsement of RFK Jr. It's saying anybody that wants to take a look at this, I'm going to support them taking a look at it. That's all I'm doing. And I'm not going to listen to anybody saying this person's crazy. This person is wacky. That's what they say to people who want to fix the system because they're interfering with the money. And they'll say anything about you if you get in the way of the money. If you're trying to mess up the money train, if you want to shove a pole in the spokes of the tire of the money train, they're going to call you, they're going to come for you. We got a few people that are willing to put themselves in harm's way to do this. RFK left the Democratic Party. To me, he's what Bernie Sanders pretends to be. He left the party, ran against Joe Biden, and went with Trump to do this job. Why come Bernie couldn't do that? So yeah, I know people don't care about Bernie, but I'm just bringing up the similarities. You get what I'm saying? Look at it. You're not what you say you are, you're what you do. You're not what you say you are, you're not what you talk about doing. You're about what you are, what you do. And I see one guy talking about something for 30 years who wasn't willing to go against Hillary or Biden, helped them all get into office or tried to help Hillary get into office. He campaigned more for Hillary than he campaigned for his damn self. There are a lot more than she campaigned for Obama. And I'm looking at RFK, who left his party. He left the party that his father is like royalty in. Ran against Joe Biden. And then went in, joined the administration of Donald Trump. And you want to say that's for what? What's it for? I don't want to demonize everyone and say that everyone's a horrible person. Some of us are so cynical, we don't believe in anybody. What I don't believe are systems that are built on pure profit, that have profit incentives, because I wasn't born yesterday. And I know if it's a profit incentive, I need to get 1, 2, 3 different opinions. Okay, that's it. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Enough. Thank you, guys. Can I get some likes on this segment? We're about to move on, Johnson. We're about to move on. I got to get to Godfrey and the crew because there's a lot to call out in this next segment. First of all, I want to thank the Tim Black supporter, the Tim Black show viewer. In fact, guys, let me shout him out. Not going to use the whole name because I didn't get permission. But if you send me a story and I use it, I want to shout you out. So I want to let people know to please let me know if it's okay to shout you out when I do it. When I do your story. When you send me a suggestion and I use it, I want to make sure it's okay to use your name. Because, I'm not in I want no problems. So I'm just going to call this person Phyllis. First names only, Phyllis. So Phyllis sent me this story, and I want to thank her for sending this story to me. This is about a segment on the Godfrey Show. Let's get into it.
My theory. I think Elon Musk has got some of the most brilliant minds on the planet working for him. And everywhere I go, this is just my theory. I think Elon Musk has got some of the most brilliant minds on the planet working for him. And everywhere I go, when I talk, watch where I'm going.
Okay, go ahead.
Watch where I'm going first. Everywhere I go, I've never found nobody that said they like Trump. I feel that Elon Musk created something to sabotage the election.
Yeah,
and I believe that the election. I believe the election. I believe the election was rigged. Of course it was. Somehow it was rigged, and that's how dominant. Because to this day, I haven't found not one person that liked Trump.
Yeah, I used to think that Bernie was going to become president because I went to all these rallies and I saw all these people. But I wasn't going to Trump rallies to know that that he was having bigger rallies than Bernie. And they weren't even showing his rallies. So what we see ourselves is no indication of what's going on in the real world. In the world outside of where we are. I don't know where you go. I'm just saying. That doesn't mean a whole lot. It doesn't mean a whole lot because you go places and you talk to people and none of them support Trump. And another thing, Trump overperforms and underreports. He's won his nomination. He's won his nomination 3 times in a row. Look, he won the nomination in the Republican Party 3 times in a row. He won the nomination even when Elon was giving money to Democrats. What about that, TK? Elon wasn't working with Trump in his first term. And he won, right? It doesn't even make sense. But see, this is why I'm doing this segment, because TK and Godfrey, damn it, I'm gonna get his name before it's over. I know this guy. They're gonna say a lot of things that don't make any sense. They're gonna expose themselves to be what I've been hearing people tell me they were. Shields for the Democratic Party. I had no idea these mavericks, Dante Nero, I had no idea these mavericks are gonna be ass kissers for Democrats. Somebody need to tell them that's so early 2000s. Let's keep going.
Everywhere I go, it's like that he's the enemy.
Yeah, but you also got to look. Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
I gotta wait until my detector comes up. I'm sorry. Let me say everything all over again. Listen, let me shorten it. Just because you went somewhere and a bunch of your friends were eating chicken wings, and were saying how much they hate Trump, that ain't got nothing to do with it. There's a whole lot of people, a lot of other places who disagreed. And to say Elon Musk gave Trump the presidency, he just lost. Elon Musk just threw a lot of money away in a race in Wisconsin for the Supreme Court. Believe me, if Elon Musk wanted to rig something, he probably would have rigged that election. So he could rig the national election, the general election, but he can't rig little Wisconsin's race. So that don't make sense. Also, Donald Trump, he won his nomination 3 times. He won his primary 3 times. So not only are you saying he rigged the general, but he rigged the local primaries too? No, Democrats do that. So, you guys don't know anything and you're saying stuff that don't make sense. And last but not least, Donald Trump is on his 2nd term. He won the 1st term without Elon Musk working with him. So what are you really saying?
Look at, there was a time when people weren't honest about it. It's like, what's the mayor of New York?
Eric Adams.
Eric Adams. So you go, well, he's black, but he's a cop.
Right.
And so rich white people vote for Eric Adams because a cop will keep black people in check. Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
A lot of black people voted for Eric Adams, man. Yeah, he won the election because people voted for him. Yeah, he is a cop, but he also had black support. I mean, the hip-hop community supported him. I was like, what? You don't remember that when Jay-Z came out supporting him? Aren't you guys in New York? Don't you know Eric Adams had a lot of support? I got swag. We're going to give New Yorkers swag back. Y'all don't know that? So this, I don't know what this guy has to do with Elon Musk or Trump or rigging elections. I don't know why you even brought this up, but I'm sure you'll explain it. It just don't make any sense.
Tim Black's BS detector.
I was gonna say, like, all that shit that's happening, like with a lot of this stuff, because they're deporting the Latinos, all this other shit, all of this.
Godfrey's running through a lot of talking points. He's trying to remember what he was supposed to say about his talking points. This is disappointing because he repeats a lot of stuff about slavery and about black history or something, and people think that Godfrey knows stuff, but you're about to be disappointed if you think he does, because he's going to say a lot of things here. They're not going to make a whole lot of sense, Johnson.
Because, they're deporting the Latinos, all this other shit. All of this is just passive-aggressive moves to go, okay, black folks, you're next.
Right.
So they're rolling back all kinds of black shit.
Back.
That they took the ban off of segregation. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah.
Taking the ban off of segregation, segregated bathrooms and shit. They want to bring that shit back. They want to bring back segregated bathrooms.
They're trying to overturn the 14th Amendment, which is equal protection under the law.
I'm telling you.
You don't know that the whole history, when people talk about the...
Are you going to bring it up? Wait, okay.
The bus boycott. People think it was about a bus boycott. It wasn't about a bus boycott. It was specifically...
Hollywood Unlocked.
About equal protection under the law. So when the Depression happened, LBJ passed the Green Deal. Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Lord have mercy, Pump. Somebody call a medic. Call an ambulance. Call ambulance. Listen, man, they did not roll back any segregation statutes. What they rolled back was in federal contracting, you don't have to jump through all the hoops on the paperwork. It's still illegal to segregate. It's just because it's a part of our Constitution. You can't segregate. It's against the law. You can still sue the hell out of anybody who discriminates against you on the basis of race. That hasn't changed. What I've discovered, and I've reported about this on my channel, there's been a lot of folks who what happened over the DEI stuff, and this is over the last 10 years or so, 10, 15 years, since Obama, they were sliding in a lot of LGBTQ protections in with black people stuff. So we didn't do it. I know I didn't say, hey, we need to put need to have trans stuff put in with black folks stuff. Civil rights. No, so this is part of what has caused a majority of the pushback from the public. It's just this combining of all things. Black America is the only group of people in this country that most people who are not crazy out of their minds admit we've been given a raw deal by the government. We're the only one with that credibility. We're the only ones with that currency, right? The moral currency that we have based on the historical legacy in this country. Of course, we got some bigots who act like white men are been more disenfranchised than black America. It's crazy. It's stupid. Doesn't hold up in anything factually. But here's the deal. What they ended up doing with that is attaching other groups to us so that they can benefit. And that's a problem. And that's what the pushback is. But no, Trump does not have the authority to legalize segregation. That would be an act of Congress, and he would have to sign it, and it'll probably get struck down or written out by the Supreme Court. So anyway, let's keep going. But worse than that, guys, the fact that Godfrey and the crew are gaslighting on an issue that's been debunked so thoroughly, it just shows me it's how bad these guys are doing whatever they could do to be liked by the Democratic Party. I mean, this is horrible. All three of them. Mo, Curly, and Shem. TK, you're Shem.
Tim Black's BS detector.
They were all stacked up in that little
Black History.
Yeah, Black History. Like, look at all the, and there's this one guy, that light-skinned dude.
He's the guy.
Biggest coon. He's a big Trump supporter, and he stuck up. There's someone brought up Jamal Bryant's picture, like in effigy, just hanging and like clowning him.
Yeah.
So he did a little speech, calling them motherfuckers coons and tap dancers. It's fucking badass. And when I made a video on it, Jamal Bryant liked my shit.
Really? Cool,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, look at me. I got some buttermilk biscuits. Yeah, he liked what I did. He doesn't realize that ain't a flex for Black America. Yeah, that's not a flex for us. For Black people that are not like tokens for the Democrats. That's not a flex. And if you're going to call Trump supporters coons, why aren't you calling Democratic Party people coons? I mean, they all run by white people. I mean, I'm just saying, if that's the barometer for what makes you a coon, wouldn't that be the same thing? But you wouldn't do that, would you? Because you want to work in Hollywood, Godfrey. You want your career to take off. But yeah, this sounds real bad. Jamal Bryant hit me up. He really liked it when I did it. Yeah, he liked it too. You know, a co-sign of him calling people sellouts when he goes sell out every Sunday with his BS prosperity nonsense. Oh, let's get further into that though, because I think it's going to go.
And I said, I just hope I hope you don't become one of those pastors that talks all the shit and it ends up being a fucking whack.
Yeah.
And
No. He's already that. You know, I hope you don't become. No, he's already that. That's who that guy is. That's why Baltimore, when there was a Baltimore uprising, Godfrey, since you read all the books, that's all you talk about is your thorough understanding of all things Black in order to help yourself comedically. That's what I feel. That's what this reveals, because your politics is horrible, Joe. When Jamal Bryant, when we had the Baltimore uprising after the murder of Freddie Gray, after they broke his spine, Jamal Bryant came down there trying to show up, be a part of it. Just like Jesse, when he went down to Ferguson, they told him to get his ass out of there, get off the Baltimore streets. And said, get out of here. Now, why'd they do that? Because they're anti-black, they don't like black people in Baltimore? Or is it because he a scumbag? No, it's because he's a scumbag. And you are a moron for not knowing that and doing this segment and jumping for dollars like, look what I did. Jamal Bryant said I was okay. Well, he would. Yeah, black people, we try to move past this idea that if you anything but a Democrat, something wrong with you. We've been voting Democrat for 50 years, and we moved 3 percentage points in home ownership in 50 years. And I got people like Godfrey calling other people who chose another party coons. What are Democrats? What are black people sticking with the Democrats? Sheep. Uninformed. You can say nice things. I mean, but if anybody put up with Biden, I mean, how could you? I'm just tripping, man. Biden had his hands on every piece of negative policing, targeting black Americans, written since like 1980 to like 2000. And we got people that work for him and people that voted for him and people that supported him that were black, and you don't call them sellouts and coons, but you're going to call somebody who went to Trump's White House thing on black whatever, they're coons? Oh, man. It don't make sense. There's no consistency. What is so to people like Godfrey and people like Dante Nero, and I don't know about TK Kirkland, I don't know why he's talking, because he never really talks about these issues. But it seems to me like all you're really doing is doing the same old nasty work of peddling propaganda for the Democratic Party. And that's so tired, man. We're trying to get off that.
He liked what I said.
Wow.
So, can you find Jamal Bryant's speech about coons in the White House? It's good.
But
it's good.
It's crazy that you had these black folks he had already outlawed Black History Month. Trump, presidentially said
that's some dumb shit. He did not outlaw Black History Month. You can't outlaw a national holiday, you goofball. That's stupid. That's just dumb. It's totally not true. You're a bunch of suckers. Then he went and celebrated it in the White House and gave a speech about it. Nah, man, you just say things because that's what the Democrats want you to say. And if you're over 50, why would you wear holes in your pants? I'm just saying it's just something I noticed. It didn't make sense. But who am I?
There's no more Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the last minute, he had a Black History event where he invited only Black MAGA people.
Okay.
So
Obama only invited, Biden only invited, what's the guy that was kissing on his hand or whatever? We'll just keep going. I forget who Biden invited. John Legend? Did he? I don't know. All right.
Here it is. Now watch. This is really good. Now watch. Can you?
But I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
See the background.
If you got real courage, don't show my picture. Show the picture of the one that fired the Black Joint Chief of Staffs from the military. If you gonna show a picture of the CEO of Target, Walmart, McDonald's.
Oh, God. Oh, the DEI thing, really, John? So we're going to do that again when we know DEI didn't help black people like that? We do know that, right? Like, are there still people thinking that DEI meant black? I know we got people trying to sell. That's what they mean when they say DI. They mean black. Yeah, because we got a bunch of people lying saying it is. It ain't. Those same people don't have the guts, the heart, they don't have the ethics to say, DEI helped white women and LGBTQ much more than it helped black people, particularly black men. Hardly ever even affected by it. But see, all of a sudden, they don't be able to get picked. Then white people won't be donating to their clubs anymore, to their charities anymore, to their NGOs, their national, their non-government organizations as readily. Will they? This is all cap, man. And I'm so tired of hearing people talk like this. Like, come on, man. This is the heat. This guy
in Amazon that does not recognize black dollars or black business. If you gonna put up a picture of the state legislators in Florida that are banning black books. If you gonna put up the picture of the one who is stealing classified information from the IRS and Social Security. If you gonna put up a picture of those that don't want your mama to pay $35 for insulin and your...
Of course we want them to. That's why we liked it when Trump wrote it in an executive order that Biden suspended and then put it back out 6 months later. Yeah, I thought that was a great idea. I liked it better when we were trying to do all medicines like that. But yeah, you could pretend that it's Biden's if you want. Whatever.
Child to pay $35 for inhaler. If you gonna put up a picture of those that are jailing children and separating families.
Oh Lord, you mean our criminal justice system, right? You mean the criminal justice system, right? These are the same guys that supported Biden who did that to black Americans for 30 years. He supported legislation that separated black families, and all of you coons was fine with it. All of you. Every last one of you were fine with black families being separated by Biden's policies that he never apologized for. And who cares about his apology? I don't care about his apology. But how is it different, Johnson? So if people are deported, that's a misdemeanor. They're deported. They come back and that's a felony. When they go to jail, what's supposed to happen? We're supposed to set up hotel accommodations? If you get pulled over for driving on suspended license, Jamal Bryant, and if you got some kids, they might not see you for a couple of weeks or maybe a month or whatever, you can get bail or whatever happens. I mean, then that's the same thing. Isn't that what happens? I'm sorry. I didn't know people that aren't citizens of the United States should be treated better than ninjas. But that's what you're saying. And you let the guy off. Not Trump, but Biden, who signed those things, who pushed those legislations and had Clinton sign those things. Of course, nobody wants to say that. We got Dante sitting over here and TK, and Godfrey is just disgusting. That's what this is.
I ain't ever scared. In case you forgot, I'm from the west side of Baltimore.
Yeah, they told you to take your west side ass back in the house. We run this, and they kicked your ass out your own streets. And I saw you very meekly and humbly remove your ass from the vicinity.
If you got a problem, pull up on me.
Why we got it? Y'all hear this shit? Now I know why you wanted me to hear this. This is probably why you wanted me to address this, right? Think of the level of dumb this is. Think of the level of stupid we're at here. We have a pastor who responds to somebody holding up his picture or mocking him during Black History Month because of stuff that he said. I know that's where it came from. I did not see them mock him at the White House, but I'm sure they did, and they did it in retaliation for his mouth. Maybe something he said on his podcast, because Jamal Brown has a podcast now. As if he has anything to say that's important. He doesn't. But your way of retaliating or responding to that is to threaten violence, Pastor? Yo, really? And nobody in our Godfrey squad gonna be like, hey, this is some dumb shit. This is dumb. None of y'all, not even UTK, gonna be like, look, hey man, I'm not from here, but it don't make sense for a pastor to be talking about fighting. That's not very Christian. Talking about fighting people because of words. If you want to pull up, if you want to pull up, we can pull up. What is this? And none of these Democratic clowns are going to say what it is. Hey, man, I'm a Democratic Party hater. I can't stand the Democratic Party because they exploit my people and extort our votes using fear of the pretend Klan, which is what this segment is all about that they're doing. Godfrey and Dante, Nero, and TK are trying to scare black people into thinking Trump going to bring slavery back because they can't win. They couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag. They couldn't beat the guy, so now they got to scare black people to keep them around. But they will not call out that this pastor is threatening. He want to fight. Physically fight. Not the Lord got me, the Lord gonna protect me. Man, this, folks, is the dumbest segment. These guys are morons, and that pastor, he shouldn't even be considered a pastor. He's a charlatan. He's a swindler. He's a snake oil salesman. He's a scumbag is what he is. And those are probably his better characteristics. Look at them laughing. Look at them laughing at that. Man, it takes a... Now I know why Godfrey's numbers went up. He sold out totally. Godfrey is a sellout. The dude is a sellout. He's a pathetic sellout.
That was the shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said that was the shit. For a pastor to say, we can go outside. He said, look at Godfrey. Look at this dumb shit. Look at this stupid. He is bigging that up. That's not what you want from a... Hey, look, that's not what I expect of a man of the Lord to be talking about. But I guess when you're a coon and a sellout like Godfrey, using his own language, I guess that's what you... he ain't a coon because he ain't Black American. He's something else. But Dante Nero, and TK Kirk, come on, these guys are comedians. They got some jokes. I'm going to tell some jokes. Come on, tell some jokes. Stop talking about stuff you don't know about in lying.
Everyone's like, yo, this dude.
Yeah, I got to go see him, yo.
A lot of pastors don't talk like that.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, they're not supposed to, you dummy.
Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's B.
That's because it's beneath their role as a pastor, you goofies. You're not supposed to talk like that. Lowest common denominator morons. That's not supposed to be, that's not an example for young people. Young people are supposed to go to your church and learn something, become better young men and women. Not want to go out in the street and fight over some words. Oh, this is pathetic, man. They like that. People like that, that's the way they need to talk. This is some dumb shit. This is horrible, man. Man, I don't know how I missed this segment. I want to thank you again, Phyllis, for sending me this. This is amazing. This is amazing. Yeah. Godfrey, you can't come back from this, man. You horrible. You horrible, dude. I mean, damn.
S detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
He's like, fuck that.
Everything
Right.
that he's mentioning is bills that Biden passed.
Yes.
The $35 thing, all of those things he's talking
And
about
rolling
were
back.
things that Biden passed. That everybody's going, well, Biden ain't do shit. He wasn't even awake. Whatever.
Biden did a lot.
And I'm not a Biden fan.
Right, no.
But Biden.
You're not a Biden fan? You sound like a Biden fan without any information, but keep talking.
Biden had probably one of the most successful presidencies in the history of this country.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS.
Damn, that's all right, guys. Okay, so Dante Nero just said that Joe Biden is one of the most successful presidents in the history of presidents. Okay, so we have presidents that ended slavery. We do know that, right? For the record, we have presidents that ended slavery. They got us through World War I and II. But he's better than them. Okay. Civil Rights Act, signed Civil Rights Act. Oh, he better. Okay. So that's just, I'm just gonna get that out the way with those, those four, right? Those four presidents right there, just move that right. Lyndon B. Johnson, we talking about Abraham Lincoln, we got a couple others, probably Eisenhower and FDR or something. FDR came in with the New Deal. Okay. Let's talk about your boy. Okay. So the COVID lockdowns were a problem, sir. That 22% of Black-owned businesses closed by mid-2021. That's because of the closings, the mandatory closings that your boy Biden instituted. And only 12% of Black businesses got PPP loans. I know we talk a lot about Black people getting PPP loans, but only like 12% of Black businesses got PPP loans. Oh, and white people got 20% of white-owned businesses got PPP loans. Okay. Lockdowns and unequal aid obliterated Black entrepreneurs, deepening the economic divide, only widening the racial wealth gap. But you said he's one of the greatest presidents. The Afghanistan withdrawal is garbage. A rushed, poorly planned exit humiliated the United States and abandoned our allies. Listen, 13 U.S. troops and 170 Afghans were killed in the Kabul bombing. We got 200 Americans and thousands of allies left behind, $7 billion in U.S. equipment turned over to the Taliban. Number 3, economy, inflation, squeeze families under the best president ever. He did so much for Black people. He did so much. They're coming all late. Don't they know that Biden's out of office? Why would you even be kissing his ass, Godfrey? You just prone to ass kissing? It's like your lips are attracted to that white man's shriveled up ass. What is it with you? Let's keep going. Inflation hit 9.1% in June 2022, a 40-year high. Inflation hit 9.1%, a 40-year high. 40 years. And you're saying he was one of the best presidents? His soaring costs eroded savings, and it hit the middle class the hardest. And it hit Black people. When white people got a cold, we end up with the flu. We end up with pneumonia. Some of us end up dead. 4, the border crossing. Oh, the border crossing. You said this was the greatest president. He's a president that let the most illegal immigrants come here. Or maybe that's why you like him, Godfrey. Maybe that's probably why you like him. Listen, 6.7, and this is on the low end. I heard it said it was more like 10 million. I heard some people say 15 million. 6.7 migrant encounters at the southern border between 2021 and 2023. With 2.3 million in 2023 alone. This was a record. Biden set the record for the most illegal crossings in history of the United States as a country. Lax policies overwhelmed border security and undermined national sovereignty. There are people that believe if you don't have a door in your house, you don't have a house. Yeah, if you don't have a door in your house, it's not a house because it's not a private dwelling because anybody can come in it. And if you have a country, you don't have a border. If you don't protect your border, you don't have a country, Godfrey. So you and Dante, you are morons. You don't make sense. 5, here goes a real good one, fentanyl epidemic. It soared under Biden. Experts slam Biden's weak response to the fentanyl crisis, failing to choke off the cartel supply chains that were bringing it in. See, when you let the border lax, more fentanyl came in. Records amount of fentanyl came in. To the tune of, we saw an increase, up to 780% increase in fentanyl deaths. We're talking 70,000 deaths. Over 190 Americans die daily from fentanyl. Then we talk about crime in general. 16 cities set homicide records in 2021. You know what I think spurred on the homicide records? The crime in general? I think it was the inflation, the cost of goods and services. This thing people do when they broke, when we have a financial crisis. There are people that resort to doing things they probably wouldn't have done otherwise. I attribute crime to the pressures of life, to the pressures of financial pressures, emotional pressures, a mental state. I don't just look at black people and say, black people violent. These people live in this area violent. I think external factors can influence what people do in their lives. So the pressure cooker of high inflation, drugs in the community, of fentanyl, all these things contributed to what turned out to be a high rate of crime. Murders rose 44% from 2019 to 2022. A failure of inaction in urban violence left communities terrified and less safe. All under the world's favorite president, the most successful presidency, is what Dante called it and what Godfrey co-signed. Foreign policy fumbles. Only 3 Patriot systems sent to Ukraine. Well, this I don't have a problem with. I think we should have not sent money to Ukraine. I think we should have just not been a part of this proxy war bullshit. Last but not least, public trust collapsed under Biden. I know you think he's amazing, but the rest of the country did not think so. Hence him not being able to even run in the primary. Well, he ran in them. He didn't run. But I'm saying end up not being president because no one believed he would win, and he wasn't going to win. His approval sank to 37% by 2023. He was such in the doghouse, his party lost all trust in him. If he's so great and done so many amazing things, why did the party then feel like, get this guy out of here? He's stinking up the place. You're not putting two and two together here, Godfrey, Dante, TK? I'm glad you're quiet because let them take the L on their own, sir. You're just a guest. 65% lacked confidence in Biden. Economic and immigration policies. That's according to Pew Research. A divided, disillusioned nation rejected his leadership. So you may feel that Biden was amazing. He did great things, but the rest of the world didn't feel that way. The rest of the country didn't feel that way. On everything from foreign affairs to our border, to economics, to inflation, to crime, to drugs. Everywhere you looked, it was horrible. And only morons, people that don't know, and misinformation peddlers, propagandists looking for kickbacks from the Democratic Party would make these claims and not produce any evidence at all. And shout out policies that he didn't even come up with. Instantly, $35. Inhale us. Just pulling it out your ass right off the campaign trail of Kamala Harris. Both of you. I think we're about done, but let's see what else they got to say, Johnson.
Detector.
Oh.
If you look at the list of things that he passed, the CHIPS Act, the infrastructure thing, the 30.
Those are the things that caused us inflation, Goofy. Those are the things that crashed the economy, Goofy. You just named the things he shouldn't have done. Why did we need to spend all that money on electric vehicle charge stations across the country? Why did he spend all that money trying to get Wi-Fi that didn't work? He had to bring in Elon to get that shit done. And then they didn't even want to fulfill that contract because they got mad at Elon for working with Trump. So major parts of his infrastructure bill that made the price so damn high was charging stations for electric cars. I still don't know anybody who owns an electric car. In them damn, yeah. What's the other thing? Oh yeah. So yeah, you can pretend all you want to pretend that it was fantastic, but it wasn't so fantastic. Yeah, and the Wi-Fi that still doesn't work in all those urban areas or those rural areas that he talked so much about. Oh, and also for the record, all those people that he was supposed to be helping with their student loan debt, that got kicked out as well. Got challenged in court and kicked out. So he's still getting his policies kicked out as we speak. Only 10% of people who had their student debt reduced, only 10% of borrowers had their student debt reduced. 10%. And that doesn't mean that all their debt got wiped out either. I said reduced. It was just something he was selling to try to save his horrible numbers. That's all he was doing. And of course, you wanted to help him. Propagandize.
File out just so much stuff.
And Trump's giving all that back.
Oh, he's already rolling it back.
He's rolling it all back. And I was gonna say damn, I had another thing.
He hasn't even.
No, you don't have anything. What you're saying is garbage. Yeah. You know, sort of like Trump, sort of like Biden rolled back Trump's secure border. He rolled back the secure border that we had in place when he took office. Presidents routinely roll back things other presidents do. But yeah, I'm not surprised you didn't bring that up.
Worked. All he did was he's just been signing stuff.
He's just angry at the world and just wants to.
But the courts. There's over.
Obama and Biden signed more executive orders than Trump. I did a study on it. It ain't even hard to find, Johnson. Now, of course, Obama did because Obama was in office for 2 terms. But yeah. Trump just rapidly signed his executive orders because he meant business, because he had 4 years of sitting back and plotting and planning what he wanted to do, and he came in knowing exactly what he wanted to do. So basically, you guys basically the Democratic Party, and I'm gonna say you guys because you are Democrats. You put a battery in Trump's back. You have the guy sit around for 4 years and get a game plan together, and he's executing on his game plan. And if it fails, it fails, and he'll fall on his face, and he won't have anybody to blame for it. He will try to blame others, but this is his game plan. And he's doing it because of you. And his numbers are still through the roof compared to the Democrats. So yeah.
They're rolling a lot of. They're not letting him do
everything he's doing. They're not letting him do it. They're going to the courts because he's doing it unconstitutionally,
right?
And they're rolling it. But
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Now, he's not doing it unconstitutionally, goofus. Look, man, if they ruled that what you did was unconstitutional, then they roll it back. It's not unconstitutional until you go to court, and the court decides if it's unconstitutional. And you know who got a lot of stuff kicked back to? Obama. I know you don't care because you don't want to actually be historically accurate. Obama spent a lot of time in court as well. In fact, I've reported on various clips. Obama was like, hey, man, take me to court, man. I'm going to do my job. Y'all going to fight me. That's how we roll. But when Trump does it because he's got an agenda that you don't agree with, you call him fascist. Republicans were calling Obama the same stuff. But since you guys don't cover politics, but now it's like a trendy thing that everybody wants to cover politics, but they don't want to cover it well. What they really want to do is sign up with the Democratic Party. Yeah, whenever I see these fly-by-night like comedians and stuff jumping into politics like this, it's just because they think there's it's money. They smell money's coming from somewhere. They look at D.L. Hughley. They look at D.L. and say, D.L. must be getting some money. They look at Ricky Smiley. Say, must be some money out here. Gotta be a way I can get an easy check out of this too. Let me see what I can get out of this. But you guys don't know anything. Everything that you guys are calling Trump, people called Obama the same stuff. Well, they ain't making pictures of apes and monkeys and stuff. There was some horrible racist stuff that was done to Obama. I will admit that. But, I don't remember 50-foot inflatable dolls of Trump ass naked in the middle of 50-foot inflatable caricatures of Obama butt naked in the middle of Times Square. Like, I've seen these things that people are doing to Trump that I never saw them do to Obama. So, your tit for tat, it's what it is, man. This is what they do. But your job, like I said, man, it's a money grab you guys are doing for politics. Only problem is you're talking to people that I need to be talking to. I'm trying to mobilize black people to get them away from the Democratic Party. And you're trying to push them further there by trying to tell them that guy is Hitler, that this guy is going to eat their brains. And that's just garbage. And the policies, and his policies, some of those policies would actually help us. We don't need more immigration of other groups. And for the record, there are other people that got deported too. Ukrainians, Lithuanians, they got deported too. Even some Ukrainians were pissed off. They had this like protected status. He's like, oh, gotta take that too. Like, so you don't even know what's going on. You like shut down a lot of this stuff. Okay, a lot of it. Let's keep going, man. It's just bad when you don't know things and you're trying to grab money. I actually care about this stuff. I'm trying to help black people get away from the Democratic Party and make the Democrats earn our vote. That's all I want. If they earned the vote, that'd be different. But Godfrey is a lame, and he's trying to make black people get their vote to Democrats for no particular reason. Because he read something on the MSNBC website. Or worse than that, because he read something on the Hollywood Unlocked website. He read something on Hollywood Unlocked. You shut up.
Tim Black's BS detector.
I'm not the trans thing, but he said you can't some trans thing.
He said I'm not the trans thing. Hey, Dante, if you don't know what you're talking about, shut up. That's it. Just why talk about it? The trans thing. Dude, I don't know where this is going. It ain't going well.
He passed, and he was just this chick from Massachusetts. He was like, "Well, she was from Massachusetts." Right. She goes. He goes, "Are you not gonna support that?"
That wasn't a trans thing, Goofy. It's the mayor of Boston. The mayor of Boston, Massachusetts. She does not track migrants that they help, how much money is spent. Now, Brandon Johnson in Chicago does. Eric Adams in New York City does. And it was someone else. I think it was Michigan, maybe? Everyone else does. Not her. She says, we've never trapped migrants. We just do what we need to do. Meanwhile, Boston, Massachusetts is known notoriously for the average Black American. At one time, they were left worth $8, I think it was, or was it $11? It was so low. I think it was $8. So the average wealth of the average white family in Boston, Massachusetts, back in 2000, I think it was 2002, Black family was $8, white family was like $250,000. But she doesn't track the money that she spends on migrants. And my argument was we need to spend some money on Black Americans. Now, since 2002, there's been update studies, I think in like 2022, they revisited, and Black Americans have moved to like 10,000. And white Americans fell to about 200,000. But that's still a gaping hole in the amount of wealth that's occupied by Black Americans compared to white Americans. And we got a mayor bragging about how much money she spends on migrants and how they don't even track it. We're just here to support them. I don't think you have that ability. When you got Brandon Johnson spending $500 million and we got New York spending, I think it was 60, it was a crazy amount, 60 billion. I don't know if it was that much. I think it was $6.1 billion that Eric Adams has spent on migrants, housing and store. And remember, it's not just that; it's a lot of money being made off the migrants too. You know, all the agencies that come in and benefit. They got to give them security. They got to give them shelter. They got to give them food. Got to give them health care. It's a number of wraparound services that all these organizations and companies benefit from having migrants and getting the government check from doing that. Sort of like, remember people used to take in foster kids and get checks? Well, that's sort of like taking care of migrants. You get a check. So all these things matter. So Dante, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't want to, it seems like you don't want to learn. You just want to talk. It's got nothing to do with trans. That was about migrants. Mayor Wu is her name.
Like in a
she's like, I'm not supporting that shit.
And she goes, I will follow the federal mandates, the federal and state mandates. He goes, oh, so you better support that.
Now she want to be a sanctuary city that does not want to. She wants to continue to bring in migrants, and she said, I'm gonna continue to do what my city wants to do. And her state is Massachusetts. So that's what she said. So yeah, there you go.
Otherwise, you're not going to get the funds.
She said, I'll see you in court.
For your city. She was like, I'll see you in court.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so people are standing up.
Right. You like that. You know, there are black people that are being refused services because they just can't handle it, like in New York. I mean, how could you be a New Yorker, Godfrey, and not know the strain that has been on New York? You think Eric Adams just jumped out the gym about what was going on? It was because he couldn't pay the bills, man, because things are being stretched. Okay? And we got citizens that needed services, they're paid into the system who can't get them because we got to take care of people. You can't have people that you allow in the country that you know, and not take care of them. You got to take care of them. So if you're going to let them in, you got to take care of them. You can't have kids and men and women coming into the country there and dying on the streets. You got to take care of them. You got to house them and feed them and give them medical care. All these things have to be done. And that takes money. And now you're saying they should do it and withhold money from the federal government. That's okay. We won't take the money. That's so goofy. What about all the other citizens in that city who can't get the money because she doesn't want to comply with the federal government? What about that? What about that? You don't care because Trump got your brain. This is dumb.
Shit like that. It's getting out of hand.
It's because people are feeling, they feel what it's like to be black. But like, we're not surprised about this.
White people do not feel like what it's like to be black. They didn't feel like what it's like to have their budget squeezed, goofy. Being black is more than just money. And for the record, there are a lot of white businesses that went out of business too around the same time, 2021. During those lockdowns, a lot of white people lost businesses too. It's just we lost more of them. So when the inflation hit, a lot of white businesses been feeling the pain too. Stop the cap. Stop with the bullshit. Like, you just don't like Trump. Stop with the, white people now, they got something to say. Man, they've been having something to say under Biden. His approval rating was garbage because they been having something to say then. You just weren't listening. You weren't paying any attention to what the country was saying. You said that all of us, because people was a bunch of deplorables. There were people that voted for Obama twice who didn't vote for Biden because they thought he was a creep. The hair sniffer guy. Okay? So you want to call those people deplorables. You want to call them deplorables when they voted for Obama. Biden was not that guy. That's all that is. He was not that guy. And his VP was even worse, or should appear to be worse.
Right.
Because they've always been taking stuff away.
And black folks are like, just tend to your business. Keep not shopping at these dumbass stores. Like, Target is losing mad money.
Billions.
We're killing them. Good. Fuck them. And there was one.
You still talking about DEI? What a goofball. DEI. Look, man, never again say that Godfrey is this real red, scholarly. No, he's not. No, he's not. You know, he's repeating talking points from Democratic Party websites. He ain't doing any research. Like if you've been in this business, if you're following anything politically, you had to look at the DEI. DEI thing has been a major thing. And if you're going to be talking about it at this point, I mean, this is 6 months into it, man. We've been talking about DEI for damn near a year over this joint. And you don't know the negligible amount of DEI that helped Black Americans. You don't know the DEI officers. It was some crazy number like 2-3%, 3 to 6% of DEI officers were Black. So who were all the rest of the DEI officers that were implementing these policies? So we got the people that are supposed to be trying to mitigate racism, have racism in their own mitigation efforts. That's not a problem. There goes your first tail. Can't even get Black people. They won't even hire Black people to initiate the DEI stuff. Why is that? But then when we start looking at the impacts of those, there's a point system, sir. And those point systems include veterans, disabled people. It's a list of people. LGBTQ, all types. There's a list of qualifiers. Women, that's a qualifier. Gender, orientation, identity, all these things matter. Being Black is just one point. Goofy. So what if you are a white man who's a veteran and you're gay? That's 2 points. Oops. See? Get it? It makes sense now? That's 2 points. Oh, how about this? A white man who's a veteran who's disabled and who's also gay or trans. That's 3 points. Oh man, he can be president. Buttigieg. These people don't know anything. They don't care to know anything. They just want to talk. It's money out there on the podcast. Let me go make one. And they don't want to spend any time doing any research on the podcast.
One lady, Tabitha Brown, you know Tabitha Brown? She's a Black lady. You know, she was an Uber driver. She's always smiling, spiritual. You know, she's
Why are you shitting on her, man? She had a business. She's doing well in her business. And you goofies wanted to say, because Al Sharpton said, we need to boycott and go work with Costco. Yeah, I wonder how much money Costco gave to Al's Action Network. Yeah, see, inquisitive minds, people that want to know, well, look at these things. Like, you know, like if you're going to say Elon Musk is doing everything he's doing for kickbacks, why is anybody looking at Roland Martin and Al Sharpton for how much money they've been getting from Costco? If any. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, and I admit that. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But I know you haven't looked into it. And who was leading this boycott? Who was leading this boycott against people shopping at Target? Target's direct competition is Costco. And who does Al say they need to go shop with Costco? I wonder if we're going to find out that Costco gave money to Al's National Action Network. See, that's being deductive, using your platform for something constructive and trying to inform people and not falling for the okie doke. That's all that is. Being inquisitive, asking probing questions.
She got really famous off
internet
of her products.
stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so she made a speech. She's like,
Hair care
hey,
products
I just want to say to you Black people, you know, I know you guys were banning Target and all this other stuff, but, you know, some of us Black owners have Black products still in the store.
Yeah, that's true. So what's the problem? Yeah. So by boycotting that store, you're going to be hurting those Black products. That's true. That's true. You will be. To benefit white women. Because mostly who DEI benefits. Because they're not participating in DEI programs. And those DEI programs disproportionately, it's white women. Because white women get 2 points off the break. Well, they get 1 point. But I don't know. But same thing with affirmative action. Disproportionately, it impacted white women more than anybody else. So there it is. That's what it is, Johnson. So I don't know. Like, so yeah, it's going to, DEI didn't help them. Tabitha's products weren't in the store because of DEI. But now DEI leaves, and now you don't want the store to be able to make money. And she's saying that don't make sense to her because, like, hey, it'd be different if it would be different. Now, look, guys, here's my thing. It would be different, guys, because I'm advocating for Black Americans. You know that. I know that. And I'm a Democratic Party hater. But here's the deal. If Target said, we no longer going to put Black people's merchandise in the store, I'd be all down for it. There you go. But see, saying other names, people of color, DI, that's not, to me, that's not Black. Because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people of color. Most of the world, you know who people of color is? Everybody except straight white men. Well, you know what minorities are? In America, everything except straight white men. So you can't go by that. That's why a lot of the white guys have been complaining. Because it's like, get it? And that's the pushback. Because it went from just being Black people, because they were enslaved and because of 100 years of Jim Crow, we can make the argument that Black people deserve this and that. And the Democrats decided, hey, I know a way for all us to get money. And you would think somebody like Godfrey pretends and he plays this role, he does his impression. That's what it is. Godfrey does an impersonation of somebody who cares about issues and does research. So what has happened is they have concocted a way to make money off of Black pain and struggle. And do a pick me. And you're helping them. And then you got the audacity to call other people coons. And I'm saying, takes one to know one. That's it, guys. I'm Tim Black. I'm going to leave it there, man. I'm not going to sit there while he runs Tabitha's down, run her down for worried about her business. You know, I'm not going to play any more of that. I don't know her, but she ain't done nothing that I think is wrong. What else? Oh, that's it. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Hit like before you peel out. I want to thank all the people that support the Tim Black Show. Go to become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Go to jointimblack.com or find me at patreon.com. Tim's Take Live. If you Google it, you'll find it. Tim Black. Tim Black Show on Patreon. Become a member starting only $5 a month. We got to grow. Because talking like this makes some people got to go. Let's go to comments, man. Let's see who's in the house, man. Woo, we got Megs in the house with 5 memberships for the crew. Thank you, Megs. You're always so gracious. We appreciate you being so generous and helping people get the show. Thank you, Megs. Show us some love. You're a good dude, Tim. Thank you, Texas Grown. I appreciate you, fam. Yogi Fish, great thoughts tonight. And always, Mr. Black, thank you. Thank you, Yogi. I appreciate you, fam. Good to see you as well, bro. Black Mama's here. Hey, there she is. Stop about to say, hey, support the show. Order your Tim Black Legacy mug, 20 to your door. Free shipping, Johnson's. Man, thank you. Go to timblackmug.com. See y'all soon. Thank you. Thank you, Black Mama. She's the best, man. Black Mama's really helping the show, man. Im Sparks, from the river to the sea. And information media. Oh, informant media. My bad. I'm thinking about information, man. We got informant media. Became a YouTube member. Man, what's up, man? Thank you, informant media. Shout out to informant media, y'all. Follow that guy. I'm sure he got a channel around here somewhere. Give him a listen. See what he's talking about. All right, man, that is it. That's it. That's all. What a night. I say we had a successful night. We called out a number of people. We called some balls and strikes. We kept it real all the way through. Thank you for supporting the Tim Black Show. All right, and we'll be back again. I'll be back, Sunday to do this all over again. Nothing but love for you. And remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread, Johnson. That's your cornbread. Why are you tripping? Yeah, man, what a night. What a night, what a night. Bernardo McCall, thank you, Bernardo. AT up in the building. 60 plus, actually, Tim. I don't know what that is, but I appreciate you. Nina Simone. That's right. Rafael Padilla. Peace, good bro. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay, Nina Simone. Yeah. Did you think it was our sister that just passed away? Damn, her name's on the tip of my tongue, man. It does look like her, doesn't it? Angie Stone. That's the name. When I looked at it, I said, damn, I need an Angie Stone shirt. If it looks like Angie, but now that's Nina Simone. But yeah, don't it though, doesn't it? True Lion, all right, brother. There it is, there it is, Alexis. Thank you, Buck Bewley. I appreciate you. And always, guys, hey, man, from the Tim Black family, from the Wolfpack family, I want to say I love you. I have a good weekend. And as always, where are my ladies at? Where are my ladies?